What's up, guys? Dustin McDangles back here with another video. This is the NHL franchise mode series with the Nebraska Bucks, guys. Super excited for this episode as we're going to get into the second half of the season, the trade deadline, as well as a few other things, and actually starting in this episode off with a few games here and also waiting to hear back from a few contract offers that we sent out here early this year for next year and see how things turn out with contracts and things of that nature. But before we get into any of the simulation, any of the team building, any of that stuff, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. And if you guys do subscribe, if you are new, be sure to comment down below that you subscribed. I will get back to you in the comments, as well as drop in any other comments and suggestions for the team or what you guys like about the series, whatever it might be. But let's go ahead, guys. Let's hop into this episode again. Sent out a few contracts at the end of last episode. If you missed that, go ahead and check that out. Importantly, we sent out a contract here for Byfield and Roslovic, and sort of based on those, we will go about seeing what we're going to do with Christian here, and then Kase, because they are going to want a large sum of money. So again, we'll have to see what happens with that. Cirelli might be somebody we actually look to move this episode, maybe at the trade deadline, see if we can get anything out of him, or maybe just a prospect. And I'm thinking we at least bring up Rossi to the NHL and see what he can do for the boys. And I also actually, just before this episode, I sent a bunch of contracts out to the AHL squad. So we'll just continue on here with advancing the days. Just here on the main screen, obviously looking to win some games here. We get a goalie coach. We needed a goalie coach for the AHL, so definitely important to get that. We get a victory there against the Capitals, which is our 20th of the season, so 2014-3, back-to-back here. So this is important right here. So Roslovic, he signs a nice deal. We get Carrick, Wooleyan, Sammy Blaze signs his, I think it was $1.6 million deal. Stengenhaller, he's going to reject the offer. Kuffner signs, Patan signs, Byfield signs. So again, that's huge. He did take a little bit of a discount. Got a bunch of other AHL signings, which is great. We lost in a shootout to the Dallas Stars, so we at least get a point out of it. Taking a look here quickly at the standings, we are in third in the division and just 1 point behind second place in the division, so not too worried about that. Again, we've got some guys signed for next year, which is great, and then that leaves the door open for some more signings. We got $27 million to work with. Our goalies are signed for next year. I want to get this deal done for Christian here. He wants 6'9". He does want to re-sign, so maybe if we can get him down to like 6'5", 7'5", I feel like that would be a great deal for 4 years. See what he says before sort of going about re-signing Kase. And I do want to take a look here at Cirelli. Maybe we sign him for 2 years and then trade him out. That might give him a little bit more trade value, because as of right now, with nothing sort of for a deal, he has 0 trade value. So definitely want to try and get that deal done. Again, Kase is another important piece of the puzzle for next year. Taking a look here in the system, got a couple defensemen who don't really want to re-sign with the squad. Got a bunch of other guys here that are looking to re-sign. So again, we'll give them deals at the two-way. Again, that's not going to really affect our salary cap, which is great. So we'll give them 2 years. Just bump it up for them, basically not to reject those offers. And we'll actually bump him up to 3 years, get him locked in for a while. So again, this is just a great way to try and get your players locked in for as long as possible, so you don't have to worry about always re-signing these guys left and right. We'll give Subban another deal. We'll give him 2 years at $800,000, and then we'll continue simming the days. And we've got a couple guys here that will need to be signed since they'll be coming off of their junior deals. So that'll be interesting to see here. I do want to just, again, slow sim here, just advance the days, see what the players say. Stellenhaller, he's actually injured, so kind of funny. He just rejected our offer, so that's on him. Got a game here against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Christian, he resigns. That's huge. He resigns on a little pay cut of a deal, about $500,000, which is really nice. Zoikov, Milic, Subban, Victor resigns. Agon signs, so that's good stuff there. An overtime loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning, which kind of sucks. So again, that's going to open things up here as we continue on here with these contracts for next year. So we are sitting at $20 million of cap space to work with. Again, Kase does want to sign. He wants a big time deal at 83 overall. He wants 1 year. If we offer him 2 I'm willing to go $7 million for him for 2 years. I feel like that would be a good deal. And I kind of want to sign Cirelli just so he's under contract, and maybe we'll want to be a little bit easier to possibly trade him. So we'll give him what he exactly wants. I'm okay with that. Again, we'll slow sim it here, see what they say, and then maybe sort of go about moving them. Again, that might have been overpaying for Kase. Cirelli signed, so that's nice. That might sort of boost up his trade value, which is great. Kase has been injured with a mild concussion, so he'll be out for a few days. So let's go here quickly to the line shuffling, and we'll replace him here. Saishian here, we'll get him into the lineup. He does get the +1 on the top line, but I want that +3 on both lines. He fits the second line perfectly, and Christian fits that top line perfectly. And we might leave Christian up there to see what he can do and maybe move Kase back to the second line. I might only get the +1 for them, but as of right now, that's what I want to do. Kase does re-sign, which is great. We get the victory there against the St. Louis Blues here in that slow sim. So pretty much all the contracts are really taken care of right now for the team. So we will simulate here up to the last day of January. Jonas is back for the AHL squad. As we continue on here, Burnaby Aces are now eligible to be dressed. We'll let the coach take care of that as we got a big game against the Flyers. We win 1-0 in a hard-fought battle, it looks like. Kase is available. We'll just continue on here, let him heal up a little bit before putting him back into the lineup. Big win against the Rangers there, so 3 wins in a row. Usually when that happens, we'll have a little bit of a downfall, and we actually get a 3-2 victory in overtime here against Detroit. Back spasms for Cirelli. He's out till the 28th, so we'll move Kase back into the lineup now, which will take Saishian out. We'll move Kase back in. Does he fit the second line? He only gets the +1, and I kind of want to see how that works with the +1. And I kind of want to bring up Cirelli. I don't know why, but I kind of want to bring up Cirelli. I want to give him a shot. So let's go to roster moves. Let's see. First, I want to check and see if Cirelli even fits the lineup. He has an 81 overall. What lines does he fit? He pretty much fits all of the lines. So we're going to call him up. Call Cirelli up. See what he can do here. So let's edit the lines now. Obviously, AHL lines are going to be a little affected here. But that's no problem. We can always sort of plug and place some players here. We've got no forwards. Interesting. We've got no forwards to really replace. So we'll throw in a defenseman there and just sort of move him down the lineup. We'll do that. And we'll do that. That's not great. We'll do that as well. So that's not great for the AHL. Obviously, I'm not too worried about the AHL, but let's go to the NHL. Maybe we move somebody down to the AHL. And again, want to put in Rossi into the lineup. See what line he fits on. And, ooh, he fits that. He fits this third line. And he actually fits their +3 for Roy. Marco Rossi, do we give him a shot there on the third line? I think we might have to, as Roy's 27. Roslovic is 27, but I'd rather get that +3, so we'll leave Roy down here. Obviously, not having a great season, and if we take a look here at full career stats, he had a pretty good year last year, 26 points, in the year before that he had 41, ever since coming over from the Vegas Golden Knights, so we'll leave him there on the 4th line as of right now until Cirelli gets back, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe we move Roy, maybe we move Cirelli. It just all depends. So I want to see how that goes with Rossi in the lineup on that +3 on the third line, which is really nice. So we'll continue on the sim here. Get a trade offer, 4th and a 7th for some picks here. and a goalie. Not going to go for that. We'll continue the sim here. Another player goes down to injury at the AHL, which is tough. But we get a loss to the Kings. And then, let's see here. We've got, against the Pittsburgh Penguins, a win 5-3, which is a nice big game here against the Calgary Flames. And this is where we're going to have to send somebody down. Cirelli is back. We're going to need to send somebody down to the AHL, which I believe Seishian might be the guy we're going to need to send down. I'm okay with that. I hope he's okay with it. Obviously, he's going to be disappointed that he's getting sent down. So it is what it is. Obviously, we wish him the best of luck down there in the AHL. As what's-his-face, Cirelli is back. But I think what we're going to do here is actually trade Cirelli. Since we did just re-sign him, he's got that new contract. I definitely want to try and trade him to see if we can get something out of him. And then we'll sort of fix the lines here for AHL. Obviously, we want Seishian on that top line. We'll get our boy Victor back into the lineup. And we kind of need to get rid of this defenseman out of the lineup, so we'll get Duquette in there. So again, that is all fixed there for the AHL team. And now back in the NHL. Do we move Koshe back? So now we have 2+3s. And, I mean, Christian is absolutely killing it with the points right now. Scheifele's up to a 90 with the +3. So that is awesome there. Rupo still at the 83, killing it. Volchenkov 85. As we continue on with the sim, we get a big win there against the Calgary Flames. Second round pick for 2/3. I don't want to give up another second round pick, and that is the month. So as of right now, we are third in the division, which is really nice. Let's take a look here at team stats. And Scheifele still leading the way, 55 points in 48 games played, sitting there in third place in the division there. As you can see there, guys, battling with the Avalanche, it looks like, for that third position right now. Trade block is coming up this month, but let's go ahead and see what we can find here for Cirelli. Maybe find some draft picks. I don't know what we're actually going to do with him, or maybe we send Roy, because Cirelli, his trade value is not the best. They're both the same age, and Roy has a little bit more trade value, so maybe we look to move Roy out. He hasn't been having the best of years. Taking a look at here at Cirelli, he hasn't either. So I think maybe we try and move Roy. Again, he's got lots of trade value, 2 years left on his deal, so we're going to go ahead and try and find a trade. So here we are, guys. We've got a big trade offer for Sidney Crosby. He's got 1 year left in his deal. We've got a ton of cap space here, and we'd be getting some picks out of it as well. Crosby, obviously, he is an 81 overall at 37 years of age, still playing. He fits our bottom 6 forward line, so he'd be a great fourth-line player, if anything. Plus, we're getting some picks out of it for Nicholas Roy. Again, the trade scales are a little bit in our favor, but obviously looking to see if that trade goes through. It does not. Let's take off that 5th round pick, see if this goes through, and that trade is actually accepted. So Sidney Crosby with the boys right now. Super excited. Did they put him in the AHL? They did not. So let's actually go to the Edit Lines tab and see where Crosby fits in. Obviously, if he fits this bottom line, that would actually be pretty sick. Cirelli obviously is great, but I want to put Crosby in here on that bottom line. He doesn't really fit the pairs, so that's kind of unfortunate. I do kind of want to roll with Crosby just because it is Sidney Crosby, see what he can do. And then by the trade deadline, we can look to move Cirelli. Crosby doesn't fit the 4th line at all. He only fits the 1st line, which is actually crazy. I don't want to take Hintz off that 1st line because he gets the +3, although Crosby gets a +3 on that top line, which is kind of crazy. And he gets a +3 on the 2nd line as well, which is very interesting. I don't know if I want to move Crosby there just because we have Boulet. So we'll leave Crosby here on the 4th line right now. Obviously, we'll ride and die with Crosby here until the end of the season. Again, we've got a ton of cap space this year. Definitely, most likely won't re-sign him for next year. So we got a pick out of that, a 3rd round pick, which is nice. If anything, we could try and move Cirelli right now, maybe for a winger. But at this rate, I think we're going to see how the sim goes, see how we get up to the trade deadline with Crosby on the squad, no longer a Pittsburgh Penguin, as we'll continue on here in this month of February up to the trade deadline, and then we'll look to possibly move Cirelli, which the trade deadline is actually in March, which is very interesting. So we got a dub there against the Jets. That was huge. That takes us to second place in the division, and we are on a roll right now. Jordan Subban has been injured for the AHL. Finally get a loss there against the Florida Panthers, so we are 29-17-5. Big game here against the Blackhawks, which we end up winning 2-1, so big victory there. Kashe has been injured until February 16th, so out of the lineup here for a little bit. Let's take a look. He was on the first line. On that first line, he is out, so we got to put a centerman in there, which I feel like we should give Cirelli a chance, although if we move Crosby, I was going to say maybe move Crosby up to that first line. He fits the first line a little bit better. He gets the +1, and we'll roll with that, see how Crosby does. Actually, I kind of want to take a look and see how he's been doing this year, at least with us. 5 games played, 2 points, not too bad. We'll give him a shout there on the first line until Kashe gets back, and then we'll see how Crosby has done. So he's got a week basically here to prove himself. We get a shootout win there against the Minnesota Wild. Kashe is available for the next game, but we'll let him heal up a little bit more. We lose to the Golden Knights, and we get a loss there to the Buffalo Sabres. So sliding down the standings here, and Christian's been injured until the 23rd, so we'll go ahead, edit the lines now. We'll put Kashe back into the lineup since that is where he is supposed to be, not on the second line, so we'll move Crosby on that second line. And let's actually take a look now at Crosby. How's he done on that first line? 8 games played, he's got 4 points, so not terrible, obviously not to where he used to be. I do want to take a look here at Rossi. He's got 3 assists in 12 games played, a -4. Quite interesting to see there. He is technically only a centerman, which is interesting, so he doesn't usually play wing. We've got some other lines here to edit, which is quite interesting. Our second power play, we need a player on, and we'll throw Ahonen on there for now. Take a look at our 4-man power play. We'll throw Ahonen in there as well. Maybe swap that around with anybody. Tinkanoff. We'll swap him out with a forward. We'll swap him out with Rupo. Put Rupo there at the point. And then taking a look here at extras on the 3-on-3. We'll put Scheifele, and I think we'll put Volchenkov there on that top 5-on-3 pairing or 3-on-3 pairing as well. Swap this around, make sure we get Tinkanoff on that final pairing, and there we go. So lineup is fixed there for now. Victory there against the Sharks to get back to our winning ways. Victory against the Canucks. Vasiliev is back for the lineup. Christian is back, so we'll let him heal up a little bit more. We'll continue on here. Big win there against the Senators. A loss to the Carolina Hurricanes. And then against the Leafs, what can we get out of that? A 2-0 loss, unfortunately. 2 more games here in the month of February. We get a win there against the New Jersey Devils. And we'll simulate all the way up to the trade deadline March 2nd with a victory against I can't see what those last 2 games are as we get into the trade deadline. Definitely going to be interesting to see what players are available. And it looks like Morgan Riley, Ekman Larson, Klingberg. One of the big players here looks like Elias Anderson. He's got 0 sort of years left on his deal, so he will need to be re-signed next year. I don't even know if he would fit our lineup, but that would be very interesting to try and snipe him. A centerman. He's a restricted free agent who has not signed a deal and wants to be traded. I don't even know. He doesn't fit any of our lines. 87 overall centerman. Don't need centers right now, so we'll skip out on him as of right now. Let's take a look here at the rest of the trade block. Ristolainen, Frederick Anderson, 87 overall. He's got 1 year left at $6.9 million. That is interesting. 35 years of age. Anze Kopitar for the Detroit Red Wings. Interesting to see that. We got Falk, Jamie Benn. Big-time players here up on the trade block as we get a trade here for Nicholas Roy. I thought that was Stamkos from the Lightning, like the actual Stamkos, but it is not. Basically an AHL trade, it looks like here. Very interested to see 69. We got a junior player and a AHL player for Roy, and 2 third-round picks. I don't really want to do that, so we will exit that. And we'll try and see if we can find anything here for Cirelli. So we got a trade offer here for Cirelli, getting him out for Nick Ritchie from the Boston Bruins. He actually fits all forward lines and penalty killing line too as a power forward. We'd be giving up a prospect and a third-round pick, and that trade is accepted. So we get Cirelli out of here, and honestly, really happy about that. I don't feel like we need to make any more trades, so we'll exit the trade deadline right now. We'll throw Ritchie into the lineup, which, again, super excited to get him into the lineup if the game wants to load here. So hopefully we will be able to do so. So give us just a second. Here we are, guys. This is the new lineup now. For some reason, it changed things to best lines once Ritchie was moved in. So we've got him on the 4th line right now. Obviously, he fits every line, the 3rd and 4th more specifically. And again, I don't know if we should keep Roslovic up here for the +3 on this line. I feel like that might be the play, and maybe, yeah, I think we leave it at that. So Crosby, Ritchie, and Krause on that bottom line. Definitely interesting to see that. But again, got +3 on our top 2 pairs. We'll have to move this around again. For some reason, it had the actual sort of lines do best lines for some reason. So we'll move Seth Jones back up here with Lautner. And again, that's going to get everything back to normal the way it should have been before. Again, super excited. Again, we didn't make any moves for the goaltender position just because I feel like we didn't need any. But that's the trade deadline. Obviously made some big moves, getting Crosby before the trade deadline and then also getting Nick Ritchie into the lineup. We won those last 2 games before the trade deadline, so we're at 37-21-5. As we will simulate here for basically the last month of the year before the final games of the regular season. And Kuffner's been injured, so that is AHL. Don't have to worry about that. For NHL, get a big victory there against the Canadiens and a victory against the Colorado Avalanche, who are ahead of us in the standings, so that was a big win. Another victory there against the Ducks. Boulette is actually going to be out until April 14th, so thankfully he'll be back for the playoffs, which is great. But we're going to have to fill that void with somebody. So let's see if Crosby does get the +3 on that 2nd line, which is nice. So now all we need to do is move in Appleton on that 4th line, and he sort of evens that out right there. So we'll keep sort of the lineup, the 3 +3s as is. Get an overtime loss there to the Oilers. Victory there against the Caps, lost to the Stars, so a little hiccup there in the way, but continuing on here, lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Can we finish the season strong? Kuffner back for the AHL. We beat the Blues, we lose to the Flyers, and it's really all about just making the playoffs at this point. Lost to the Rangers. We're in a wild card spot right now, and we actually clinched with that victory against the Phoenix Coyotes or Arizona Coyotes. So 3 wins in a row there. We're actually 2nd in the division, which is interesting to see. We've got 6 games left in the month of April before the regular season comes to a close. So definitely big games here. Win there against the Kings, lost to the Penguins in Crosby's return to his former team. Big game here against the Winnipeg Jets. We get a 3-2 overtime victory. Big game against the Islanders, a 6-3 loss, and the final game of the season is Roslovic. He's actually out until the playoffs. or deep into the playoffs, I should say, is going to be a while as we lose to the Panthers. So we finish in the same spot as we did last year, third in the division. But this time we actually are going to be going up against the Chicago Blackhawks, as we'll take a look here at team points and team standings before we sort of move on to that. 102 points, 48, 28, and 6. As you can see there, third in the division, so we will end up playing the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round of the playoffs. Who won the President's Trophy is a real question. It looks like the Florida Panthers, who we lost to that last game of the year, with 119 points. Crazy to see that. Flyers won their division. Penguins just missed out on the playoffs. That is surprising to see. And Boulet is back to get into the lineup. So let's take a look here at team points. Obviously, Scheifele led the way there with 84 points. Awesome to see there. Volchenkov with his best season yet, 80 points. Christian with 67. Crosby finishing very strong, lots of points there. He actually had 24 points in 34 games for the Nebraska Bucks. Interesting to see. He played great, +9 for us, so awesome to see the output there. Cachet, 53 points. Hintz, 51. Jones, Byfield, Boulet, rounding out sort of the rest of that top of the board. Rossi, 38 games, played 15 points. Not too terrible there. Let's take a look here at the entire league, see where Scheifele might have ended up, and nowhere near the top. Draisaitl leading the way with 106 points, McDavid with 105. As we scroll down a little bit here, it looks like Scheifele cooled off a bit. He was up there for top points in the league near the start of the season. He cooled off and he finished, I believe, in the top 25. So not too great there. I actually want to quickly look here at our goaltenders and see how they ended up. Definitely interested in this. Man, Ben Bishop really playing well. He turned it around. He went 40, 24, and 3. Varlamov, 9, 4, and 3. Again, both goaltenders with great stats. Vinny not getting much playing time, which it is what it is. But again, very, very happy with Ben Bishop, and I'm kind of intrigued to see where he finished for the entire league. And right behind for wins, behind Vasilevsky. He actually had a better goals against, or not a better goals against, but again, great goaltending. Ben Bishop, maybe we finally found that go-to goalie. He is 38 years old, which is kind of a bummer. It is what it is. Let's take a look at the AHL. Forsbacka Carlson leading the way in points, and it looks like the Burnaby Aces once again won the league with 118 points and their division and their conference. So super excited for the AHL. That's 5 years straight, I believe, for victories in the AHL. So super excited as the season's come to an end, and there is the playoff picture, guys. Again, we'll take a quick look here to look at all of the matchups, but a big first series here against the Chicago Blackhawks. Jets play the Predators, Flames and the Kings, and then we've got the Oilers and Avalanche. Over in the Eastern Conference, we've got the Blue Jackets and Hurricanes, Flyers and Sabres, Lightning and Maple Leafs, and then we've got the Islanders and Panthers. So going to be an interesting playoffs. Obviously, the defending Stanley Cup champions, Edmonton Oilers, will be a tough matchup if we can get to them by the end of this simulation. But that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. In the next one, we'll get into this Stanley Cup playoffs here. I'll make sure I fix the lineups and everything. It already looks like they put in Boulet into the lineup, which is great. Crosby's up to an 85. That is crazy. So ever since putting him back on the squad, he is up to an 80, or getting him into the squad, he went from an 81 to an 85. So that is awesome. We might roll with Boulet here on this bottom pairing. And if anything, maybe move Vasiliev, Christian up to this top pair for the playoffs, as we still get the +3 as we get a +1. Maybe see if we can get a +3 on this pair. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to unless we've got Roslovic. We're waiting on him to get back to healthy to get that +3 on the third pairing. But again, needless to say, guys, we'll get ready for the playoffs. Hopefully make a run this year, not get knocked out of the second round or first round for that matter. But again, hope you guys have a good one. And as always, stay dusty.